Now let's look at learning objectives D and E together. We're going to write an equation in factored format from its zeros and also write it in standard format. If we take a look at this one, let's write it, the equation of it in factored format and in standard format. We can confirm here that an x-intercept happens at 2, it looks like -3, and -5. The one thing I do know is it's a third degree polynomial, which means there's exactly 3 zeros, and I see them here in the graph. So all I need to do is this. I'm going to write p of x equals, in factored format would be x plus 5, x plus 3, and x minus 2. And that's all you have to do. Now, if they want this in standard format, I'm going to have to do 2 sets of multiplication. So the first thing I think I'll do is distribute this right here. So let's go ahead and do that. And that's going to give us x squared plus 3x plus 5x plus 15. And then I have the x minus 2 still. I'm going to add my like terms. So that's going to give me x squared plus 8x plus 15 times x minus 2. Now I can choose to either keep it as a trinomial multiplied by the binomial, or I can flip-flop the order if I like. I prefer to have the binomial first, but you don't have to. So let's go ahead and look at the multiplication here. If we had kept it this way, there's a couple of ways you can do the distribution to look at it nicely. One way is you make sure like the x touches all here, and then you come on through and the -2 would touch here. That's an option. But I am going to focus on the one where it's the binomial than the trinomial. So for this one, I'm going to take the x and multiply it here, and then the -2 multiply it through. So x and x squared is x cubed. And x and then positive 8x is 8x squared. X times 15 is 15x. -2 times x squared, -2x squared. Negative 2 times a positive 8x is -16x. And -2 times a positive 15 is -30. If you add the like terms, we're going to get the final equation. And we're going to put it in standard format as x cubed. Then we're going to have a plus 6x squared, looks like minus x minus 30. Let's look at this one here. Again, we have a third degree polynomial with integer coefficients, and we have the 3 zeros given to us. So this is easy enough. I'm just going to take the zeros and put them in factored format. Now this one does have a little twist to it. Be careful, the last factor is x plus 2/3. They want this to have integer coefficients. So this right here is a problem. This is not an integer, this is a rational number. So what I need to do is rewrite this factor so that it's only integers and no fractions. Now see if you agree with me on this. What if we had, for example, 2x minus 1 equals 0? And what if I divided everything by 2 on here? If I came in and divided by 2. Do you agree that that is the same as x minus 1/2 equals 0? I think we all can agree that the math supports it. So notice this right here. This looks like a factor with a fraction. How can we get rid of the fraction and make it look like integer values? All you need to do is that 2 would get moved up here. Same thing. If I take this 5 right here and put it up by the x, and that 3 and put it up by the x, it's actually equivalent. So I can rewrite this in factored format. I'm going to say p of x equals x minus 1. Then I'm going to do 5x minus 3 and 3x plus 2. And this is considered in factored format, and that would be the answer. Now, if it said put it in standard format, let's do our multiplication in a little different order. What if I take this time, I'm going to take the last 2 binomials and multiply those 2 together first. So then I have p of x equals x minus 1. And when I multiply this through, I'll get 15x squared plus 10x minus 9x minus 6. That'll simplify to x minus 1, 15x squared plus x minus 6. Then to wrap this up, all I need to do is come on in here, and I'm going to multiply those there, multiply this here. When you do it, the final standard format will end up being this equation here. It's a third degree polynomial, 15x cubed minus 14x squared minus 7x plus 6 in standard format is the same as its factored format with integers.